In this problem, we're trying to figure out what the mean and standard deviation are, given that we know that 99% of the marks in a test are between 38 and 98. So here's how we're going to figure this out. The 99.7 tells you a key piece of information that you have to know, and it has to be memorized. And that is that 99.7% of the data falls within 3 standard deviations. So that means if I count 3 lines over from the middle going left and right, that's where my 2 numbers are going to be labeled. So 3 standard deviations to the left is right here, so I'm going to label that 38. 3 standard deviations to the right is here, so I'm going to label that 98. Okay, so now we're going to figure out standard deviation first. So to find standard deviation, we want to figure out how long each of these little sections are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what is the length of the whole thing. And in order to do that, we're going to take our biggest number minus our smallest number. Oops, not 68. So we're going to do 98 minus 38. That gives us the length of this whole thing. And then we're going to divide it by how many little sections there are. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. And a little shortcut for you, if this makes sense to you. Because we know that it's 3 standard deviations away, that means it's 3 to the right and 3 to the left. So if you take your number of standard deviations away and double it, it will give you that number. So 3 times 2 is where that 6 comes from. All right, now if I do 98 minus 38 divided by 6, it gives me 10. So I now know my standard deviation is 10. For the next step, what we need to do is figure out what the mean is. Now, I know that the mean is this number that's in the middle. So if I use my standard deviation and I just keep adding it to my smallest number until I get to the middle, that will give me my mean. So if I take 38 and add 10, that's going to give me 48. Add 10 again, that gives me 58, and then add 10 one more time, my middle number is 68. So I now know that my mean is 68.